everyone. This is Sylvia with Odyssey of Enlightenment, and today we have Eloisa Jerez joining us, and she's sharing her awakening story. Hello, Elo. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to hear your story because I love what you do. Eloisa makes jewelry, but she does it in a different way, and she calls it prescription jewelry. And I love that. I love it. And she's shown me a lot of her work, and it's gorgeous and it's highly functional. You can use it to heal yourself. So I asked her if she would share her awakening story with us. So I'm so happy to have you here. Let's begin. Did you grow up with religious views from your childhood? Did you grow up religious?
Yes, I did. My parents, well, especially my mom and my older sister, they were very, very, very Catholic, very religiously Catholic. And so as a little one, they used to dress me all up. We'd all get together and we had to go to church at a certain hour, and me and time, well, you know, I'm not good at time. So I would always complain. It's like, what, why do I have to be there? Anyway, but they'd make me and they'd dress me all up. And I had beautiful clothes. My older sister, she's 10 years or was 10 years older than me. She dressed me to the T. And so we'd all get together and go to mass. And it was just always, Easter was a beautiful thing. Christmas was a beautiful thing. But then unfortunately what ended up happening is my sister died when I was 10 years old. She was 20 and I was 10. And my parents, we all fell apart because she was a massive energy, massive, beautiful light in our family. She was awfully bossy too, but, but when she said go, went. Anyway, so I was.
Did you have a connection to religion? Like, did you really feel, what was it, the structure of it? What did you like about it?
No, actually, not so much the structure, not so much. I liked some of the rituals. I really enjoyed Christmas and, you know, thinking about Jesus being born and Easter because he, after the 3 days, you know, he rose and all that. Really, it's wonderful. It was wonderful. But more than that, I felt, and I still feel, it's a connection with the Lord. Just him and I are buds. You know, we talk all the time. I feel close. He's been there. God, not he, you know, the right. God energy. He's always been there with me. Sometimes I felt like he wasn't, but then I turned it around and started looking at and just realized he has always been there. And whatever I've been through in my life has always been for my good, no matter what it was, whatever experience. But it was a matter of how I chose to look at it. Another blessing that God gave us is the free will part. So yeah, it's a connection, a spiritual connection with him.
Right. And do you still go to church?
No.
What made you stop?
Well, it's really interesting because what happened, I mean, I grew up in the 70s, you know, the 60s, I was a little kid in the 60s, and then in the 70s I loved it. I loved dressing, wearing shorts and, you know, whatever, dressing, doing, but it was because I enjoyed it. It was because I loved that style and I felt good and I just felt good about myself. And I remember that one Sunday, and I must have been like 18, 19 years old, a homily. It was a priest who looked like Yoda. And he started scolding. He started blaming us young women, young girls were wearing short shorts and making men, you know, drool over us and thinking dirty thoughts. And it was all our fault. And I'm like, what? I mean, I take responsibility for the stuff I think and I do or don't, you know, that's free will. And I didn't think of it in those words, but I knew it. And then I'm like, I don't think so. You're not going to tell me how to dress, and you're not going to tell me to feel guilty for somebody else's actions. Right. My actions, yeah, not other people's. So I quit. But that didn't mean I didn't have a connection. I realized that God was with me everywhere, and if something was going on, it didn't matter where I was. I just I just have conversations with him. I feel super close, not him, the
Right.
just with the feeling, the spirituality. So, and that's how I just stopped, because I don't have the need to go to mass or go, but I totally understand others do. It feels good,
Well, it's a
it
way
does.
to connect, but it's not the only way. There's many ways.
Exactly.
But they would have you believe that it is the only way. And then there's a lot of guilt and shame if you're not there on particular days or Sunday, or if you don't give money and things like
That's
that.
another thing. That's another thing. And it's not just Catholics. I mean, it's all, and it's
Right.
okay. If somebody wants to allow that, if they feel okay with it, it's all right. But I'm not feeling guilty for anything that hasn't been in my control. I know, I take responsibility for errors that I make but not others.
Right.
So it's me and God, and he
Right.
and I know I keep on saying he, and I know it's not a he, it's
It's both.
more powerful. Yeah.
I think it's mother and father. It's both.
Mother and father, right. So it's just, it's just a beautiful connection.
That's amazing. I feel the same way. And I feel so blessed to have that. What events led to your awakening, would you say?
Well, I was thinking about that, and I, I think that some of us always feel that we're connected or that something's odd. From the moment that I remember when I was really little, I always felt odd. I was always the odd one out, but I always wanted to take care of other people. I mean, like, there were little kids that were smaller than me or whatever, and here I'm small. I was little and maybe 4 or 5, 6 years old, and there was a little kid who was a little bit, younger or smaller in size, and I was there. Oh, what do you need? I'll take care of you. I'll take, and I would always, and for some reason, I don't know what my mom used to call me, don't be a mama, and I have no idea. Nobody else knows what she was, but I think it was because, like me being
like smothering.
Yeah. And always wanting, like I was always there to take care of other people. Like, I forget the name, but like a nanny kind of thing, or somebody who's there to, a wet nurse, I hate to say, but somebody who's there to take care of, that isn't the actual mom. So, but then I didn't know. And then when I really, because I'd always been searching, but then when I really hit me, when I was married the second time, and I had been buying a bunch of different books, trying to figure out, at that time, I was trying to figure out what religion or philosophy, what was I going to, what was it that felt true to me? If supposedly I needed some kind of guidance, religion or whatever. So first I bought a book on Buddhism. The ex is or was, I don't know about now, he's way past now, but he was Catholic and he never wanted to go to church. But then when I stopped going to church, actually that's when I stopped more, like really when I was married the second time, because I would go once in a while to church. But when I was married to the second time, he didn't want to go. And my shift work, I used to work with immigration, it was law enforcement, so I couldn't go to mass a lot. Anyway, but then once I bought that book, he's like, oh, it's the devil, it's the this, so what are you doing? And like looking at him,
Buddhism, really?
Yeah. Yes, he was crazy. It was crazy.
That's interesting for somebody who didn't even go.
Exactly. So I read the book and I liked a lot of the stuff, a lot of the philosophy, but it was like, I'm open to many philosophies and many, because I believe that all religions are all beliefs, as long as it's you're working towards God, or you have a belief in the Almighty. It doesn't matter. It's all the same. It still goes to the same place. So anyway, so then I read that, and I didn't really get that much more into it. And then I bought a book on self-help and the law of attraction. I started getting into, it really, really fascinated me. So I bought a book, and then it talks about how you can manifest anything. You just have to write down, you have to sit down and write down what traits you want or what. And so I just happened to find went to the chapter about your perfect, your soulmate, right? How can you manifest your soulmate? So one night, he went to sleep and I was reading the book. And so I sat down, I bought some pretty stationery, and I started writing down all the traits that I wanted in a man that would be perfect for me and stuff. And once I put it all together and I looked, I was still in the victim mentality, I looked at him and I looked and I'm laying in bed. It was a beautiful house. It was a brand new, we had it constructed. It was just everything. I had a great job. My life for the most part was great, except this part,
Marriage.
The marriage. My mom and dad were still alive. Everything was good. And like I had control over almost everything in my life. And then, so I had manifested pretty much, like I said, a beautiful 2 acres of land, beautiful pets that I had, everything. That part was great. So then I started, and I'm sitting there actually, because he was asleep and he's snoring. And I still like
On top of it
and
all.
I look, and I'm looking over and I'm looking at him like start crying like a total victim. I'm never gonna.
Oh my
This
God.
is not him, and he's never gonna be this. It was hilarious. I mean, now I look at it.
I think that happens to all of us, because I did the same thing. I'm like, why are you here?
Yeah, how is this possible?
And blaming him, not me. It's not
Exactly. I'm like, oh. Anyway, so then what I did is I got it, I folded it up, and I put it in an envelope and I sealed it. And I'm like,
what did you
okay,
write on there? What did you write?
What do you mean? Like
On your paper, like what did you ask for, or how did you write it? For anybody listening, because I know they're dying to know.
So, okay, someone who's a best friend, someone who I can make love to and just be me, and have a super connection without one of the major things is just being me. Yeah. Not having to dim myself down, not having to think of oh God, no, he wouldn't take, he wouldn't want to do this, or he'd look at me like I was this or that,
right?
Because suggesting it, or I tried whatever, it was right. Like that was the major thing, because all my life it seemed, and because I allowed it, right. I was always the outsider, and so I always dimmed my light, and I always, most of the time, I would tweak myself because I wanted people to like me. So that was the major thing. And then not just the connection, having someone love me for who I truly am, the good and the bad, accept me, and be there for me and support me. And because all the things that, and then allow me to give them what I have to give, and love it. And love it. Yeah. And just, either love it or deal with it at first and then embrace it later and love it.
Yeah. Wow.
So that's what I have. And it's so cool because all of that. And then my mom taught us that we had to, once you made the bed, you lay in it or whatever.
Such a yucky old mindset.
And also I do believe, I'd been married twice before, and I do believe in karma. So I knew the first time I was just going to there was a certain amount of time when I was going to get divorced. So I still haven't figured out why I did that then. But then the second time, I truly believe it was because of he has 3 children. And I believe that I was there to help the children grow up. And it's just like the minute the youngest was ready to graduate from high school, I remember going with him, with the ex, to the the mom's house to have kind of like a little celebration for the little boy who was graduating from high school. That was it. That was the day. That was the day that I knew. And only like maybe 2 weeks later,
Wow.
I left.
Wow.
I left, and we got divorced. And but because I knew, I look back and I still say I was the mediator between them, between the mother and the father. They
Wow.
were very nice. They didn't understand, and they used the children against one or the other, and I kept on, I don't have children, but it was like, I know in my heart that that was one of my soul's agreements with
So
them.
your agreement was maybe not necessarily with him, but with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So you were their advocate.
It was amazing. I mean, I had a good time, but and then my mom too. My mom would take care of them, and because back before when we were when the kids would come and visit and they were little, and if I had to work, my mom lived next door, and she would go over and babysit because the both of us were working. So she took care of them too. So it was.
That's so interesting.
It is. It was. There was reasons why all of that happened, for sure.
So then, how long after that did you meet your perfect partner?
Okay. Well, after that, it was kind of like a process, because I was working at the port, and then my perfect partner became a port director, a temporary port director in Douglas. And he is like the best mentor for everyone. If you wanted to learn something, he was there for you, man or woman. It didn't matter. It was just, he changed the port. He was there to help the employees. He's a true leader. He's not just a manager or a port. He really cared about the people. And they asked him to go down to Douglas because the port director was forced to retire at the time. So anyway, so we were friends, and he was my mentor. And so we went through like this process of just being really close, like in the sense, and it wasn't just me, and it wasn't, it was all platonic, and we didn't know he helped anybody that needed any guidance or wanted something,
So he was just a really good person that you knew.
Yes, a really good person. And I had known him before from Nogales, but I didn't know him personally. It was until he went down to work there. So then once I realized, because I knew things were not working out with the ex, and I knew that was it. Little by little, I started changing because I wanted to make it work. I knew I was going to get divorced, but I didn't want to get out of it. And you know how, like, you're comfortable with the devil that you know instead of the devil you don't.
Yeah, you
something
resist
like that.
it. Yeah, better the devil that I know than the devil that I don't know.
Right. So then finally, when that was it, we started really fighting really bad, and I actually became a little anxious or afraid, but I refused to allow him to see that I was afraid of him. But I could see the anger and the violence, because I wasn't listening to. It's not that I wasn't listening to him. I stopped. I lost the respect. So I started fighting with him with the same intensity that he was fighting with me.
You're matching his energy.
Yes. And it was just like, you know what, to hell with you. And so God bless you, but no more. You're not controlling me anymore. And there was one last day, I remember, that we went to a party, to a retirement party, and he told me stuff. He accused me of all kinds of stuff. And like, what? There's no way. And then he started following me. We were fighting and just kind of like that. And then he came after me, and we both carry weapons. we're both armed officers. And I mean, that was really at the beginning when you couldn't, if you had any kind of domestic violence or whatever, that's it. Kiss your job goodbye.
Wow.
And when I lost all total respect for him, and I knew, and he started chasing me, I ended up, this was like about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and we had both been drinking. And I went in, he was following me, and I'm like, because what happens with me is that when somebody starts attacking me and starts saying terrible things about me, I can't hear him anymore. I can see the look, I can see the anger and the hatred, and like I want to, that energy that's really scary. I can see it, but it's like, choop, I can't tell you exactly.
Something else takes over, right?
Yeah. So I went into the bedroom because I remember hearing the guidance saying, because I also wanted to hit him. I got that anger, that just really like,
Yeah.
And then I thought, no, I got it. So I went into the bedroom, I slammed the door, and then he kicked the wall. And there was this big old hole in the wall. And I'm like, okay, I got to do something because this is it. It's not going to get any better. And it's going to get worse if I don't, make a choice, because he's not going to. So long story short, my husband and I, well, not my husband, my mentor,
perfect partner.
my perfect partner,
On layaway.
We would talk, and I would tell him, because he also had issues, so we'd be talking or whatever, and like, why don't you try this? I already did. I got a self-help book. I got
I got a crystal.
a marriage. Yeah, I got all this stuff, and nothing's happening. And then so anyways, so then I left, and it was sad though. I feel bad for him, because when he realized what was happening, he threw himself on the floor and grabbed my ankle and wouldn't let me out. Poor guy.
Just a little bit satisfied, just a little bit.
Yeah. So I'm like, let me go. I gotta go. So and there's other stuff that happened that night, but so then I finally left, and then little by little, I realized that my best friend, and I started to look at, oh my God, later on, it was like, I remembered everything that I asked for, everything that my perfect partner is my perfect part, everything I'm telling you 100%.
Wow.
Everything. We were friends. We both gave each other guidance, like in without having any underlying
agenda.
Agenda. And so it's beautiful, because now, I have all the support in the world. He has, and I know there was a reason, because I think at least 4 times he's saved my life. And I'm not saying that I've had near-death experiences, but the cancer.
Well, explain that.
Okay. So I've had a wonderful life. I never had any medical problems, colds and, bronchitis, things like that, just regular in the back, because of working with so many people and that kind of stuff at the port. But I never was in the hospital. I've never, ever, anything serious. I've always been, thank God, I've been very healthy. Well, and then I got to be 39. I was, and most powerful was when I became really, really awake. And I said, okay, Lord, okay, Father, here. And it was before Jesus, or my husband, my perfect partner, and I really got together, and we were just friends or whatever, but I had already left. I was in the process of getting divorced, and I just surrendered to the Lord. I said, okay, if I have to be, it's okay that who I am. I accept myself. I'm weird in whatever way, or unique.
We're all weird, yeah.
Yeah. And I said, okay, Lord. And I remember I was in the car and I was driving, because I've always been really independent. I always used to go, because I lived all the way down like 2.5 hours from Tucson, which is, like a place to go shopping and stuff. And I only had a day off. So every day off, I would take off to Tucson to go shopping, to go do whatever I needed to do, and get out of that little town that I lived in. And it was a day where I said, you know, Lord, I know if I can't find the right partner, I'm not making, I know I made the same mistakes. I made the same, not mistakes. I made the same choices. Different men, but the same type. And I'm done with it. And I understand it's not me. You've got I give myself to you. You guide me. I want to help people. I want to, yeah. And it's just and if I have to spend the rest of my life alone, I accept it. And I'm not upset about it. I have fun by myself. I'm always by myself anyways. So that was the day. It was really cool. And then my husband, my perfect partner, and I, like, it was a transition, and it wasn't slow, because then my mom was the one that figured out that I was actually in love with him before I knew, because I would go over to her house and I'd be crying, and because my perfect partner had left, and I didn't know. I was just like, oh my God, who am I? You know, I felt like I have no friends anymore.
What was happening? He was moving, right? He was
moving. He was moving, huh? Yeah. And my best friend, my one and true best friend, yeah, is gone. What am I gonna do? And my mom's eyes got huge, and here I'm crying again. Oh, this time it's because my best friend is gone, and she's like, "Stop it, stop it." So then it was just a process, and then finally, you know, things just fell into place. And
so that helped you realize who he really was to you, right?
Yes. That it was not only that he was my best friend, but I had a connection to him. And in my heart, I knew, you know, no matter what, I mean, whatever was going to happen was going to happen. And I still was open to the flags, because, you know, if he was going to be my best friend for the rest of my life, I would have been happy with that too.
Wow.
Because he was so awesome. But he's exactly. And then just kind of like a cool thing about that, my perfect partner writes. He hasn't published them, but he's got 3 books that he's written. And the first book, as I was reading it, I also uncovered the fact that he had manifested me. Yeah, it's just so cool, because the heroine in the book is very strong. She's in law enforcement too. She's got long, black, beautiful hair, and I had really long before the cancer, and of course now, you know, after menopause, whatever, my hair is not what it used to be, but it was long and really curly, and really, it was full.
Wow.
And I used to have it all the way down to my waist. And I've always been thin, so except for a certain amount of time in between after the cancer. So anyways, so everything about this woman that he wrote in the book was me, even to my name, because my mom named me Eloisa Maria Rosa. Maria is for my grandma, and Rosa is for my godmother. So, and Eloisa is, well, and the Eloisa is for my dad's mom, which my dad's mom was part Yaqui, and and I must admit that's, yeah, I must admit, I have a lot. Yeah. So
and what was the heroine's name?
Maria.
That's so cool. And did you tell him? He knows, right?
Yeah. And
that's
he's
so
like,
cool.
Hey, that's true, you know? And I'm like, so.
Wow, that's so exciting. Now, did you just write like what you wanted when you wrote down your list of your perfect partner, or did you do anything extra that was special?
I just wrote it down and put it in a sealed envelope. And in this particular book, if I can find it, I should have it there. Maybe you can put it on the link or you know, later on. But because it says there's the process, but really the main thing is sitting down and you meditating, you calming yourself. But also what I've come to understand, because it also depends on where you're at in how you know, your energy, the feeling, because you can write things down and you can still manifest. But what I have discovered with the law of attraction and the law of vibration is, if you are more like on the negative side, you know, like feeling like, oh God, like I did, there's no way that feeling of, oh, it can happen, but it takes a lot longer and you go through a lot more than if you just said, okay, you put yourself in a happy, and it's not just happy, in a joyful mindset, because that's the energy. Because from what I've learned too, I've understood with the law of attraction, the law of attraction is a secondary law. The law of vibration is a primary law. And so it's like the words, because I know a lot of people say, and so did I used to say that too. It's like, yeah, I keep on saying my affirmations and but if you really analyze where you're at when you say those affirmations or when you write them down, if you're like in the back of your mind, totally being honest, saying this isn't going to happen, you're just pushing it away. It's taking longer.
You're canceling
so you have
it
to
out.
get past. Yes. So, well, in some, it's really weird because, you know, don't necessarily cancel it out, but it just takes a lot longer to get to where you want to be.
Okay.
So, what I've started to do, and someplace else I've learned, I read it or I saw it on YouTube video, think about the best time you've had ever. Like when you were a little kid, or the best orgasm, whatever, you know, like the best joyous moment in your life, and remember it and just feel it. But you got to feel it instead of missing it, you know, because that's the,
so no longing, no yearning.
Yes, exactly.
But you have it. You have it.
Yes, you have it. You have it, and you can actually feel.
Having it.
Yeah. And then that's how, you know, and that feeling that you have, then you start, okay, you know, kind of like
I want.
My niece used to say that when she would get scolded or whatever, she'd be put to sit, you know, not let her mom wouldn't let her play because she did something. She would say, Mom, you can put me here, but you cannot stop me from playing in my mind. And that is, because you can play in your mind no matter where you're at. You can be where you want to be. Right. So anyway, so that's that, and that helps. It's just amazing. It's just an absolute, it works, but people have to allow it, you know, and then surrender, like and detachment. Just, there's so much stuff. I mean, but it's fun, you know.
It is just fun. Oh my God, the most fun is when you see it before your face and hear it and taste it, touch it, all of it, and know that you did it.
Exactly.
It's
exactly.
So
when you have proof. Yeah. Well, like I can give you another example, and this one is where I'm telling you about energy. As far as when I was in high school, I had a rule. I have always had it, Miss Control Freak, and now I understand I also have to surrender. But I had a rule that every main dance at the high school, or, you know, I had to have a partner. I always had to have somebody invite me to go to the dance. And I would sew. My mom taught me how to sew, and so I'd always have really nice stuff, sexy stuff, but nice stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And I would sew up. So anyways, so this one prom, I think it was 2 weeks before, and no one asked me out. And there was this one guy who was a lot older than me, not a lot, but he had already graduated from high school. This was a junior year, I believe. And I was like, oh my God, again, the victim. Oh my God, please God, I gotta go to the dance. I'm gonna be so embarrassed because I'm not gonna have a date. I'm not gonna go. How is that possible? It's a rule. So then I went to church. It wasn't mass. I went to church, and I remember sitting up in one of the pews close to the front, and I'm there, and I'm on my knees, you know, like, and praying, please, God, please, please. And then I knew who I wanted to go to the dance with. I wanted, his name is Louis. I think he's still alive. Anyway, he was a bud. He was a really close, we used to go, he was a part of a band, and he was pretty popular, and he was really good looking at the time, you know. And a girl who was kind of mean had a really huge crush. She wasn't my friend, and she was mean to me. This is another thing I'm not very proud of, but oh well, I was a kid. So then I'm like, I want Louis to go with me. I want him. I want to
kill
take
two
him
birds
to
with
the
one
dance.
stone.
Yeah. So there, oh, like, please, God, please. But I was begging, okay? But I had that energy going where, oh, please.
Yeah.
And there I am. I had parked on the side. It was on the main, it's on the main road. It's called 10th Street. And my car was parked on the side. And it was my sister Cecilia's car. Anyway, that's a different story. You just reminded me of another thing that came to me. Anyway, so I'm there and I'm praying, and I hear a car because the windows were open. It was like, you know, in May or something, and the windows were open to the church. They didn't have the air conditioning on, or the windows, the cooler. Anyway, so then I hear some footsteps. No kidding. No shit. Sorry. No kidding. He walked from the back of the church. You know, the I don't remember the names of the areas, but I was up to where the cross was. And he came in the main entrance to the church, and walking quietly, because there wasn't anybody else in the church. There was nobody else in the church. And he's walking, and then all of a sudden, and they're all wooden pews. It's so awesome. I love this. And then they're all wooden pews. And then I look, and it's Louis.
Your tears.
Yeah, wiping, and it's Louis.
Oh my
And he
God.
comes over. I know. I'm not kidding. I did it. I didn't call him. I did it. He didn't call. I don't know. It was like, even though I had that negative, I guess in a way, I mean, I was begging, but
your desire was so giant.
Yes. And I believed it. It was like, I didn't have any doubt. Yeah. It was just like, you know, when you're a little kid and you're like telling your dad or your mom, or your kids, when they like, please, father, your mother, they do it, you know, because they know. And he showed up. No kidding.
Wow.
No shit. He showed up next to me, and I was like, hey, you know, I don't remember all the conversation, but you want to go with me to the prom? Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that.
Oh, I know you were, because I manifested you. Wow.
So that's an example. I mean, we're powerful.
So did the girl see you? Did that girl see you?
Yes.
Even better.
And then, you know, she talked shit about me and him, but what the heck? Well,
yeah, but you enjoyed it. You're like, yeah, that's right. That's so funny.
So it was. I mean, things like that. It's just amazing. It's just my life, my history.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has some cool stuff, but
yeah, I feel like those of us that manifest now have always done it. We just didn't know that we were doing it, because looking back, you see all the things, and it was just, oh yeah, I know I'm gonna get it, because I always get it.
Yeah, and you know what's funny too is what you fear is what you pull to you.
Yeah, that too. I brought all the fears to me too, like all the cheating husbands and all that stuff.
Yeah, with me, when I was working with immigration, I mean, back in the day, it was 6 hours or 6 days a week working. It was just
constant. Yeah, and law enforcement, you live there. Yeah.
And 12, 16-hour shifts, and crazy. But I had time to read up on stuff for here. And that was when they were really talking about breast cancer. Plus my aunt, my mom's oldest sister. I love her dearly. She passed away in the 70s with breast cancer.
Wow.
And I was really small. And I remember, not really small, I was probably like 7, 8, 9, somewhere around there. I don't remember when she passed. She had, no, it might've been after my sister Cecilia had died, when she passed, because it was in the 70s. My sister died in 69. So anyways, so I remember my mom went to go visit my aunt, and my aunt, what they used to do with women with breast cancer, you know, like when they did a full mastectomy, she looked like, she showed us, and I remember I was there, I saw it, and she looked like a burn victim. It was awful.
Wow.
I mean, probably like from here all the way down to her waist, and just took everything. And it was hard. It was hard to. And then when we went to visit her the first time, she was in the same room with a woman who had gotten bitten by a rattlesnake. So the other woman was like in horrible pain. So I guess it's a traumatized memory.
Right.
Anyway, so I was always fearful of breast cancer. And then I started reading up, and 1 in 8 women get it, and this and that.
So convincing yourself that you could.
Yeah. And so I remember being afraid, and the books that I read on the law of attraction.
Oh, wow. So you were training yourself on how to attract, but also training yourself on that.
Right. Because of that energy, the negativity, the negative, what you fear, you also attract. So you have to really be careful. Not careful. You just have to acknowledge and realize. So instead, now that I've realized, and we talk, like when you start being afraid of something, switch it around or pivot over, like Abraham Hicks says, pivot to being grateful. Switch it over, because it's so important.
Right away. Right away.
Mm-hmm. So, but the breast cancer was one of the best things in my life. Not as great. I mean, not the best thing was finding my perfect partner. Yeah. But breast cancer and the process of it made me really become the better person, become the true person that I am now. If I had gone through that, there was no way, because I was a princess. I mean, I worked hard, and but then, somebody's going to save me, and now I understand.
So it made you compassionate, would you say? Like more compassionate? Or what would you say it did for you?
What it didn't, not because all of that I've always been since I was little, to a fault. What it did was make me understand the victim mentality, and how no matter what adversity, Viktor Frankl, that's another thing. I'm going to give you the book that I read while going through that trauma too, Man's Search for Meaning. What it is everybody goes through adversity, and some worse than others, a lot worse, well, the experiences we all go through. But it's how we look at it, and not necessarily at the time, because at the time it's easy, the words are easy to say, oh, well, count your blessings instead.
Right.
At least you have the ability, you have the medical, the health insurance to, get the medication and all that, and the chemo and the care. But it's hard to think of it like that at first. Right. What happened, it was such a process with me, and thank God for Jesus. This is long story short, or whatever.
Long story longer.
He saved me. Yeah. He saved me, because at that point I had given up, as far as when I got diagnosed with the cancer, and I didn't want to lose my breast, and I ended up losing my breast, and I didn't want to do chemo because it was poison, and all these, me being in control rather than I had forgotten, and I hadn't surrendered that process yet for that. And he was the one that told me, hey, okay, because we were dating at the time. He didn't have to stay with me.
Right.
He didn't have to, he could have just left.
Right.
And he was my
and most
best
people
friend.
would have. I mean, look at mine left just because I got fired.
Yeah. And I was amazed, because he stuck by me. He went with me to every treatment. He went with me every doctor's appointment. And this is even years after, and he asked, actually, that my, the options because, you know, I'm all into choices.
Mm-hmm.
And even back then, and he said, you have two choices. Either you go on your own 2 feet and I take you to the doctor and you go to the treatments, the chemo treatments, or I will tie you up and carry you there, but you're doing the treatments.
Wow.
Because what he did is he asked the oncologist, and it's a great question, it's really important. He asked him and looked at, because we're both into, you know, body language and is this man being truthful or not? If it was your mother or your wife or your daughter, would you have them do the chemo treatments? And I remember sitting there and I couldn't deny it because he's like, the doctor said, yes, this is the best at this point for the type of cancer that we found. This is the treatment, the best treatment. So then I was like, I was shit out of luck. I had it because he told me you have those two, and I'm like, okay, all right. Wow. So he saved me there. And then a second time we had gone to the beach and carbon dioxide, right? It's carbon dioxide. Okay. So it's wonderful. It's a beautiful place, but it's really, really like, there isn't any heaters or anything
rustic.
Like that. It's really rustic. That's my word. Anyway, so it's kind of like a dormitory area where everybody sleeps. We sleep on cots. And it was cold, so we had closed up all the windows, and the stove was like a butane, like a gas stove. And we didn't realize, because you can't smell carbon dioxide,
right?
But it accumulates. And so the windows were closed. And I used to be a really, really, really big party animal. So in the morning, what we saw, everybody was feeling a little dizzy. We were all asleep, but one of the friends that were with us and her dog woke up, and the dog was a little dizzy.
Wow.
And is a little Chihuahua. And yeah, she's like, something's wrong, you know? And so they got up, and then everybody opened up the windows, and they thought, oh, it's okay, you know? And Jesus tried to get me up, and I'm like, leave me alone, I'm sleeping. It was like the best sleep that I was having, you know.
Your carbon dioxide sleep.
Yeah, I guess, unfortunately, and I'm not, but I was just enjoying my sleep. And because I remember the one thing that was really bad is that if I were to move, my stomach was hurting. And if I just stayed in one position and just slept, it was like so peaceful.
Wow.
So then Jesus thought, because the windows were all open, there's high windows that were open, and the cots were close to the wall. So he thought I was okay, but I kept on being asleep. And then his guidance said, no, I better get her. Because I would have died.
Wow.
And so what he did is he picked me up, and as I took a cup, because I remember, I remember, and he grabbed me and he picked me up. He actually carried me, but he was trying. And then like, no, leave me, let me walk. I fainted twice before I got to the door. And it took me like, probably like 3 to 4 hours to start feeling normal. He sat me outside.
Wow.
We had a porch, and he sat me outside, and I just had to get the oxygen in.
Wow.
So he saved me there. Yeah. And then other times when I've gotten sick,
wow,
like, gotten real sick, and I have it almost, doctors will end up telling me, I end up in the emergency room. I got to emergency room twice. He took me because I had infections and really high fevers.
Wow.
You know, I don't want to go to the doctor. I don't want to go. And he finally would have to drag me. Anyway, both of those times, the infections were almost septic.
Wow.
If I had it, yeah. And if he hadn't taken me and forced me to go to the emergency room, I wouldn't be here. Wow. So there's a purpose. There's totally a reason, a purpose. And I feel like I know what it is now, finally. But he's my angel too.
He's your Archangel Michael. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I feel like every day that we wake up, your mission is not complete. If you're still here, God has a purpose for you. You're meant to be here, and you don't know why.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because it's like then the free will comes into being there, you know. And then you look at the circumstances and the different experiences you have in your life, and then you realize, yeah,
Well,
there's a reason.
hindsight's 2020, yeah. But when you're, we live life forward, but understand it backwards.
Mm-hmm. Oh
That's why it's
God,
so
yeah.
important to share our stories, because then others can learn from our mistakes, or if they're going through it, maybe they'll snap out of it quicker and not wait
Right,
so long.
right. And it's and that's really, really, I feel like if I can find a way to articulate and share
Yeah,
and sort of be an inspiration to people, I'm in a humble way,
right.
but because I've been the princess, and I still have little, I mean, I like it,
Oh
it's
yeah,
fun,
totally.
but yeah, but then now I realize that the prince can be there to
Yeah,
help you, but you have to make the choice too. And there's only so much other people can do for you. You have the power, and even when there's no one else around, you have the power to make the choice to make your life better, to change your mindset.
and to be
And
open to help, because even the angels can intervene. Your guidance can intervene.
exactly,
Nobody can. They just stand there waiting for you to up. Okay, she likes it.
exactly, exactly. And that's, I've come to understand that God, God, the best, the two most beautiful gifts, and we have a lot of gifts, but the two most beautiful gifts that we have is one, that God gave us life, and the other, the free will. Because I also understand, that people, when we go through life, it's our choice how we're going to look at the hindsight.
Yeah.
And we have every right to be resentful and angry if we want to. That's our choice. And but we can make the choice to say, okay, well, I'm here and I'm living. Why not live my best life?
Mm-hmm.
Why not, like, okay, give yourself a a break too, because we're human and everybody makes mistakes, but see everything, see the little, the silver lining. And as I've also understood that the more I've seen the silver lining, the more beauty I have in my life. The
You
more,
have a bigger capacity for beauty.
yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so then
It's
seeing
just
it as
amazing.
lessons, and what did I learn from that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's just, I love it. I love it. I'm so grateful
it
that
helps
I'm
so
alive
much.
now.
And it helps so much seeing other people as a wounded child, and seeing that they were also abused and things were done to them, and so on. That has helped me tremendously, because then when you see them like that, they're just a product of whatever happened to them. But we have a choice. We can choose, like, it stops here. I'm not doing that. Whatever they did to me, I'm not going to repeat it.
Exactly. And that is a choice. That's the difference. And my mom taught me that, because my mom, one of the things that she would say was that when my grandmother would get angry at them, she would put like, stop talking to them and give them the just the negativity, the whatever, ignoring them type thing for days.
Wow.
And my mom
Hey,
said
wow.
that my mom said that she made the choice that she was never going to do that to her children. And she never did. Yeah, she'd get mad like that. But then in 10, 15 minutes, vente, mijita, quieres tortillas, ¿qué
Yeah.
quieres comer, or whatever. But, and she taught us, she gave us uh, the belief and the self-respect for ourselves. And she was a very strong woman, but then she also was a very loving woman. So that's pretty cool. My mom, I was blessed to have a mom like her.
So being
That, and then
fair, balance.
yes, yes, yes. And so there's it's really, just looking back at everything, it's just amazing. I'm very grateful that I had the people that I've had in my life. And you're
Yeah.
right, it's the angels, it's God and the angels, the Holy Spirit, you ask for the guidance. And sometimes it's not even actually, at first, it's not the people, because you may not know that you have those people in the future in your life to help you. but you open up for guidance and you say, okay, Lord, whatever, again, like your perfect mate, your perfect partner.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay if I'm alone, but I got you.
So
and I got me.
accepting what is, right?
Yes.
Just accepting, okay, it's like this. All right. And making the best of it, but still hoping for more and asking
Right.
for more.
Right. Making up your mind, okay? And then, which is like, I'm okay this way, but God, what about if you can
Yeah.
find it, you know, if it's for my good, God, what about, you know, this and this and this?
What about a really hot, sexy guy?
Yeah. Gorgeous, tall, and loving, with
Yeah.
a beautiful heart and understanding and belief, you know, and trustworthy and has lots of integrity, everything that you want.
Right.
Blue eyes, whatever.
To you, specific to what you want. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. You don't have to settle and you get to pick. That's the beautiful part. Like when you go eat somewhere, they're not just bringing you whatever the hell they want to bring you. You're picking. You're like,
Yep.
what would I really want? And like,
Yes.
just indulge in that. That's so fun. You're basically going shopping with the universe. How fucking cool is that?
It is. It's awesome. And the other thing, the one I was thinking about too, is believing that we're worthy. I love the
Yeah.
video that you, because that's so important. Because sometimes, you know, we don't believe that either we're deserving or we're
Right.
worthy
Yeah.
of that perfect person, because we are our worst critics.
Well,
And
and then it's like the whole thing that you're asking for and you're dying for it. Oh my God, please bring me this thing. And you're also the one, so you're asking for it. So you're reaching out, but you're also the one that's locking the door. Oh, no, you can't come in here. And it's like, what the hell? Because I've caught myself doing that so many times. And I have to like that's why it's so important to be self-aware and always monitoring yourself, because then I'm like, oh, I'm doing it. I'm doing that thing. Stop.
yes, because it's also with, what is it, with choice comes great, I
Oh, with,
forget the
yeah,
word,
with great power comes great responsibility, and like heavy is
responsibility.
the head that wears a crown. Because it's true, like once you're powerful. So before you didn't know, so it's not your fault. But now that you know, it is totally your fault. Everything in your reality, it's you. Because like
Mm-hmm.
nobody's gonna create, like, you know what, I want them to be poor. Nobody's gonna do that because everybody's busy with their own shit. So it's like, what beliefs do you have that maybe they're not in the front, they're somewhere back here, and it's probably not even yours, it's probably your mom's, your dad's, their beliefs, that oh, money is hard, oh, money's the root of all evil, and like money's hard to come by and it doesn't grow on trees and all that shit.
Greed, the love of money, and it's crazy. My dad used to say that money doesn't grow on trees, or what do you think I'm,
Mm-hmm.
shitting.
Yeah, but it's because they grew up in the Depression era, and it's a very lack based, and you can't blame them. But we're not there. We are drowning in privilege. I don't care
Oh
how much you're
God.
struggling. We're drowning in privilege. If you're watching this, I mean, right? And so I
Exactly.
remind myself, like, okay, I'm not hungry. I'm not getting beat. I'm not getting raped, because that was my past. So to me, it's a blessing that these things aren't happening to me right now. So no matter what is happening, oh, well, that's not happening to me. So it's a good day.
Mm-hmm. It's so true. And one of the things which is really interesting that I used to think, because I don't know, somewhere in one of the books that I've read, or YouTube things that I listened to, when I was going through the cancer, and I remember feeling like the lowest of the low. I had nothing left. I didn't even want to see my parents. I didn't want to see anybody. The cool thing, I mean, to have the strength to work every single day.
Yeah.
Well, not every, because I had 2 days off then. Yeah, because 2 days off, because I have the one sick day to go to the chemo treatment, and then I needed the other day to
recover.
Yeah, it's just amazing, because I did it, but I did it because Jesus really helped me. But then, like, like I switched it on too. It was like, what am I going to do? I had to pay my own bills. He asked me to marry him, and I was in the process of going through the chemo treatments.
Wow.
And I said, no. I said, no way. Am I going to put you through this? If I die, I'm not going to make you pay any extra, because, you know, there's still a lot of out of pocket that you end up having to pay with the medical, no matter what, if you have health insurance or not. And then besides that, I said, and I literally got like, no. And then I had no hair. I was trying to find a picture of that so that I could just, you know, to show the process. We all go through stuff, and not.
You think it's forever, right? When you're in it,
Yes.
you're like, fuck, it's over. That's it. It's done.
Yes.
It's
And
not.
I was always really, really into my looks. Really, you know, I took care of myself, and then for that to happen to me, and then and my hair. Oh, that's I'll tell you that later. But so anyway, I was going through so much, and then I realized that, okay, I can do step by step. I have this man who totally loves me, but I don't want to be reminded later on. My anniversary cannot be, it's not a celebration. It's a cancer thing.
Yeah, you didn't want to rob from the momentous occasion.
Mm-hmm. And I really appreciated it, but I didn't want him to marry me because he was feeling sorry for me either.
Yeah.
So that was another thing. I didn't want that. That was one of the reasons why too. It was hard for me to see my mom. I would see her once I'd allow, because I had gotten divorced. I had sold the house that we had. And so I was all on my own. I refused to go live with my mom. I refused. Jesus asked me if I wanted to go live with him.
So even then, you were super independent throughout the chemo.
Yeah, I'm like,
wow.
No. So I rented a double wide mobile home. It was like big. I don't know. I should have saved money, but I did it because I had, you know, I had to feel like I could stand on my own 2 feet.
Yeah.
And I paid my own bills, and I did everything. But and because he did so much, the only one I really allowed in was Jesus, because he didn't look at me like he felt sorry for me, or like, oh, I couldn't stand. And my mom, I feel bad because, I mean, I was her baby daughter, and I was going through it. And so I understand, but I couldn't see it.
But you know, when we go through stuff like that, which is essentially a transformation, the old you was dying and the new you was being reborn, like a snake that's shedding the skin, it goes and hides for a long time, and it's all naked and vulnerable, and the new skin is coming. So like the new you was coming, right?
So I guess, you know, when you're asking about when I actually, my awakening, it was before. I mean, it was slow, but that was when it hit me.
Wow.
And it hit me, you know, like,
yeah, because even your new perfect partner. So it's like, that's a transition, right? From one book closed to the new book.
It's true. It's true. And I fought it.
Wow.
I fought it a lot of the time, but, and it took me, honestly, it took me about 5 years to get over the fear, because I knew, you know, the vibration part. I knew that, but I couldn't control it. I couldn't feel, I don't know why. It just, it's a process. And then finally started going back to the invincible, knowing that bad things can happen to good people. However, you have to live your life. I knew that always. So I would still drive by myself. I drove back and forth to the port every night. I would go to Tucson, but I was anxious, like super anxious all the time.
Yeah, you didn't trust life anymore.
And I trusted God, but I knew it was like God said, hey, yeah, I'm here for you, but shit does happen to good people. Wow. Shit can happen no matter what. Wow. And so, but that was actually too creating the possibility of more shit happening. There was a reason. So now, like, I'm not afraid anymore. I had a conversation with God about,
you can survive, right? You know, you're like, oh, that horrible thing happened and I'm still here. So that means I think I know what I'm doing.
And I'm not a survivor. Yeah. I'm a victor. You know, that's the cool thing, is that I have come to that understanding. Yeah. I'm not embracing I'm a cancer survivor. No, I'm not. I'm a victor of experiences in life. I don't even, I've understood. I'm not, it's not my thing. The cancer isn't mine. It was something, it was a learning process, and it's over with. It's gone.
Yeah.
And I had a conversation with God as well. For if for some reason it happens again, because you know, you never know, whatever could happen. I don't, in my heart of hearts, I don't believe it, that it could happen again, because I have learned. The conversation that I had with God was like, okay, God, help me. And I thank you, because I understood, and I've learned what I needed to learn in that experience. And I accept what I can't know as what had to have happened, whatever, and then I move on. And I'm learning, and I'm open to all experiences now. Like, I have to, okay, God, if this is going to happen, if that's going to happen, it's okay. What is it that my soul has to learn? Because I want, in my next reincarnation, I want to go to that next level.
Yeah.
I want to learn and experience and do everything, you know, accept and learn silver linings of everything that I've gone through in this lifetime. So, and then the other thing, what I told God, okay, if whatever happens, thank you, God. I don't ask him anymore, because he already knows. He's my father, so he knows, or father, mother, so they know what I'm asking for. I thank him for that. I am the instrument, and that whatever process, that whatever words, whatever experience I go through, I am the best person and the best experience for others. Like, I'm a tool, like what you said, you know, like
a blessing. Yeah.
A blessing for other people, and not someone like I was before when I was going through the cancer at first, because I was afraid. And I'm like, leave me alone. I'm going to die anyway. It was bad. I mean, for the first 2 years, it was bad. I was like horrible. I was angry.
You checked out of life.
Yes. It's shit's going to happen anyway. Nothing good's ever going to happen to me again. I'm going to die. I lost all my hair. Oh, that's what I was going to tell you. See, I had really beautiful hair. My hair, I made an agreement with my mom when I was little, because she was always working. She cut my hair, and I was a skinny little kid, and they thought I was a boy. And I'm like, I'm a girl, you know, so it was like an insult for people to think I was a boy. So then I got to be 10 years, well, was it 10? I don't remember, because it seems like.
I know, time is weird anyway. I know.
Yes. But, and so it had gotten to the age where my hair is really curly, and my mom, I said, okay, mother, give me earrings, so that people, because back in the day, only girls wore earrings. Get me some earrings, and I'll let you cut my hair, because it was like all, and I, you know, and to see past. So my mom was the one that was having to comb my hair out, you know, take care of me, and she was working all the time. Yeah. So then she says, okay, mijita. So she gave me she did the first ear holes, the first earrings. So that after that, she never cut my hair again, because I started taking responsibility to take care of my hair and combing it or whatever. I had not had my hair cut as like short. I have always had long hair, always, from probably like 10, 11 years old to 39, 40 when the cancer came. And I had to acknowledge, I was trying to visualize that my hair wasn't going to fall out with the chemo, but it did. But anyway, so Jesus and my sister took me to some place in Phoenix, and they cut my hair short, and I made everybody cry. I didn't mean to make them cry, but I couldn't. It was just like,
oh, you were grieving. Yeah.
I was exactly the old me. And so that's another reason why.
You know what? See, so you were totally different, because my guidance also told me after the divorce, right, the same like week, to go get my hair cut, and to keep getting it cut until the old me was gone. So I went like 4 times in a row, 2 inches at a time, because I had it down to my waist too. And now it's a bit longer because they're not open, but I had it up. I kept getting it cut up to my chin, because I was being told, get rid of the old Sylvia. So it does
Wow.
carry energy. That's so interesting.
Yeah. And I guess, I mean, not I guess, I know I was really bad about it. You know, I was just like holding on to it, holding on to
Well,
all
we hold
my,
on
the,
to the silliest things, right? Houses, wedding rings. I mean, just stupid stuff that you don't need it really. I mean, yes, it's beautiful, it's fun, whatever, but you don't need it because, you know, there are things that are precious that's what matters, not stuff, right?
yeah, no, it's true. It's true. And everything that you have, whatever you lose,
You
you,
can get it
you,
tenfold.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And it's all a matter of that, you know, the energy and the, the finding, the realization, the other gift that God gave us is the power and the understanding to ask for guidance, but the guidance comes through you, and then
Yeah.
you find your own strength,
Yeah.
your own power.
Yeah. So then that would you say that gave you like a new understanding and like the ability to just surrender and accept? Because I mean, you're in it. What the hell are you gonna do? It's happening, right?
Exactly. Exactly. And it's true. I mean, there's been experiences with different people. Like I've seen people that are angry and they have every
Carry it
right
for
to be.
years.
Yes, yes. And then till the day they die, you know, they're angry or resentful.
Mm-hmm.
And then um, others that have made different choices. So I, after I, the, about 2 years, I started that, like looking back and saying, okay, Lord, why not me?
Mm-hmm.
I understand there was a reason, and I'm a better person, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
strong. And yes, I'm fearful, but I'm working through the fear.
Right.
And what else? What else? You know, there's other things in my life. There's other things in my subconscious blocks that I have and that I'm currently working through. But it's really cool to be able to analyze, to really go within.
Yeah.
And my perfect partner was the one that also told me at one point, because I used to think I didn't know what was wrong with, well, I didn't know what was wrong with me. I thought, oh, maybe I'm bipolar. Is when bipolar started, you know, coming
Or
out.
the thing where they're trying to
Yeah,
make it popular.
yeah. And so I was like, God, what's wrong with me? Because the other thing is I'm very empathic and it's very painful. And I have, and a lot of times, you know, like my family or whatever, they'd say, well, snap out of it. Quit being so melodramatic, you know, whatever. And I was melodramatic. There's a difference between being a victim and not understanding, not knowing when you're taking in other people's energy
Mm-hmm.
and animals. Oh my God, with me and animals. So I started accepting and trying to figure out, because it was so painful. At work, my different jobs that I've had,
Mm-hmm.
I would feel totally drained every single day. I think that's another reason why too I got the cancer, because I wanted, I law enforcement, so the law, the rule of law, you have, you know, immigration law you have to do, and I had to do my job. And because I was a woman back in the day too, and not because I didn't use it, as I did everything that I could do. I didn't ask any help unless I had to, but I was right there with them. You know, it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't like, oh, I'm a girl or I'm a
Yeah.
princess. No, can you do this? Oh, no, no, no. And so it was a constant drain. It was a constant drain. And then it was weird. But so I think that, not I think, I know that I gave everything to everybody. I gave out. And so
Mm-hmm.
then I had nothing left.
Yeah.
And so, and breast cancer is that, you know, you're the mother, you want to be, you're there for
Wow.
everybody else, but not for you. And
Wow.
I was, you know, I always thought like selfish was a bad word. It's not. You have to
No.
take care of yourself. And
Yeah.
I always heard it. I knew the words, but I never did it. And it
Wow.
was, yeah, I hit rock bottom and I couldn't do anything for anybody. I couldn't even watch my words because I was always careful of people's feelings and, you know,
Mm.
and I couldn't do it anymore because I had nothing left.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool. I mean, I'm very thankful for that experience because I feel really good.
It
I
birthed the
feel,
new you.
mm-hmm, I feel
Wow.
really good. I love my awakening, my process. just my friends. I'm so
Yeah.
thankful
Did you
because
lose friends throughout your awakening? I mean, friends, family, relationships, other than the
everything.
divorces.
Yeah, no, the divorces where I knew, like I said, that was karma, and there were reasons, and even some of the, I don't know why, but I knew that there was
Mm-hmm.
a finite time in each one. Yeah, everybody, it seems like I love my family dearly, but I'm not, I don't want, I realized something about myself, that I was being a
Oh,
energy
energy.
vampire.
Yeah.
I
Energy.
was a vampire because I was fighting between the independent, trying to understand or working on me being strong. And
Mm-hmm.
then with my family, I was being, oh, I'm the little sister. Help me, help me. Yeah, and there was a lot of anxiety.
Mm.
And then I said, back off. I was doing a meditation, and then with my crystals and gemstones, I originally, I the Moldavite, which is something really intense. It's a wonderful, wonderful stone. It's not a crystal; it's actually glass, and it comes from the
Czechoslovakia, I think.
well,
Or
that one, yeah, it lands. It did. It is. It's Corel, no, Morelia, Russia. But
mm.
it's like a meteorite. So it came down and then it hit the ground and then it burned up. And with so much power, so much energy, it blew back up. And so it became like a glass and it's green. And so this Moldavite, it's a glass, but it's got from from the sky, from the the stars, it's pieces of the stars and
Wow. And
Gaia, Mother Earth. Yes, so it's a combination. It's really, really intense.
how
And
can
just
you test the authenticity of it? Like if someone wants to buy it?
okay, the way that you have to be really careful because they are making fake. That one's hard. That because Shungite is the one that you can test with the ohm meter.
Mm-hmm.
Moldavite, you have to look at it because it looks like glass. I should get a piece. I didn't. Do I have one with? Yeah, I do have one with me. I carry them with me. But
Mm.
anyway, uh, you'll see like little bubbles, but they're sideways. There's some really good videos that people that sell it or
Okay.
that that are really promote because
Mhm.
it's a transformation stone, but it's really intense. And some people can't even wear it for very long or whatever because it starts giving them headaches. They get
Mm.
really uh, uh, buzzing.
So
It's
would you have
crazy.
to acclimate to it? Like just have it near you to start off with and then like
Yeah.
for a little bit and then put it back? Because I had to do that with malachite. Malachite would make me faint and I couldn't hold it. So I had to start by putting it in my window. And then I would
Yes.
close to me and then I would
Yes.
hold it. But I mean in little stages because it was so strong.
Right. Right. Yeah. This one's even more intense than
Wow.
that, I think. So yeah. And let me see if I have. I don't know where the can. Where is that? Can you sort of see? Cause see how. Let me see if I can put the flashlight, my telephone flashlight on. I might mess everything up though. Um, it's I'm trying to do a quick story here on it. What happened is I have this niece that I totally love, and actually she's my perfect partner's. Oh no, that's not gonna work either. Forget it.
Aim it like this. The light going this way.
Okay,
Yeah. There.
there you can sort of.
It
Can you
looks
see
like
the little?
green clear glass.
Yeah, and it is glass, but there's like little.
Specks, you
It
said?
there's little bumps.
Okay.
It's not. It's like because what it did, like I said, what happens is the meteorite comes down,
Mhm.
right, and it's going like super fast. It hit this area, it hit the ground, and with such force, it created heat, and so the ground, the meteorite jumped back,
Mm.
and it burnt up in the atmosphere, so it created the glass.
Wow.
And then it landed back on Earth. And it's only, they have not found moldavite anywhere else, but I said not Karelia,
You said
Morelia,
Morelia. Hmm.
Morelia, Russia. Yeah, because Karelia is the one with the shungite.
Oh,
And so anyway, so and it is pretty expensive, and the Chinese is one of the that's suspected of making fake because it looks like
oh.
glass.
So
So
if
you
it's
have
from China, it's probably fake.
yeah, and if it's inexpensive, like this piece right here, just this little piece, and it's because I bought it wholesale at the Jogs there for the Tucson Mineral Show. It was $45 just for
What?
this little, and
Wow.
that's inexpensive. You know, not inexpensive, but that's
Mhm.
like
So,
not.
so what would you say somebody could use Moldavite for?
If you're ready for transition or uh, like totally leaving your old life, going into something new, transformation, but hardcore, like quick. Don't be afraid because it hits you. Okay, so let me tell you, there was this one, my niece, and she's not my niece. She's actually really quick. She's my husband's niece, like cousin or whatever. But they're blood. And I had been looking for. I've been wanting someone to help me with my business, with my jewelry, helping me to take pictures. And that was way back in the day when I hadn't learned on my own. But that wasn't really the reason. I don't know. We've got this really cool connection. She and I hit it off like crazy. I mean, we could spend hours, we could spend days.
Mhm.
We love to party. We just enjoy each other's company, but we also are very creative. So we would work together on jewelry. She's very into fashion more than like what I've discovered, you know, that my jewelry, it's beautiful and it can be fashion. It is fashionable, but that's not it. They're tools, reminders for your intentions and your goals. So anyways, but and that's what I've come to understand. So what we just hit it off, and we spent time together and did all kinds of stuff, went to San Diego together, just had a great time together for 2 years. And then one May, another friend of mine asked if she would go take care of her dogs because my niece took care of my dogs, and I had a whole bunch at that time. I went to on vacation for anniversary, and she's so awesome. She took care of my furry kids, you know, and because not just anybody can do that for me. Anyway, so she's a wonderful person. She's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful person, inside and out. So anyway, so she asked her if she would, and I said, look, you guys take care, you guys agree, whatever you guys want to agree on. I do, you know, I know that my niece is going to take care of your animals, but
Mhm.
it's between you guys. I'm just putting you guys together. So I don't know what kind of agreements. I do know that they traveled over to San Diego to take care of her dogs. And my friend went to Hawaii. It was really weird. I knew something was going on. Things were changing, but I didn't know. I was feeling some weird stuff. So I took him out. We went out to a brewery one night. I spent the night at the San Diego friend, and she had already gone to Hawaii. And then, so the girls were fine. You know, they hung out. We all hung out. We came home. We took care of the dogs and stuff. Everything was good. So then I went out again with them the next night, and that was cool. But I got tired. It was like, you know, I got to go spend time with my sister, and I've got to work on my website. So you guys take care of the animals. You guys know what to do. You guys are adults. Because I always end up wanting to be
Mother.
the mom to everybody. Yeah. And so in my intuition, my guidance was telling me, tell them, and this is before I understood, before I understood the channeling, before the energy,
Yeah.
the knowing. So I got a strong feeling like, tell them that you can stay here if they're not going to come back in time to take care of the dogs. But I told myself, what are you, crazy? Why should you do that? You know, they're adults. They're quit being the mother and quit being so pushy, because that's what I always like, oh shoot, I'm pushy. I got to back off. I got to back off. So I went to the house, to my sister's house. They messed up. I don't know what happened. There's some other stuff, but they didn't go back. From what I understand, okay, because I don't know the whole story. My niece and I, we love each other. We adored each other. And from that day on, because I am the mediator, I didn't know what was going on. I was trying to talk to her on the phone, trying to get her to like what happened. And then my friend in Hawaii was trying to get a hold of me. I didn't know what was happening. And this is in San Diego and Tijuana. So I was thinking, oh my God, something bad happened to my nieces. Oh my God, you know, because it's
For them
dangerous.
to do such a thing,
I never thought.
The word, yeah.
Right. And it was like heartbreaking for me. And it was awful. But then I felt guilty, but I didn't do anything. And I was the mediator. I was trying to get both people, you know, both sides.
Well, that's what we always
talk.
want to do, right? As empaths, we want to make everybody happy.
Yes. Then the other thing is, like, my friend from San Diego, the one that went to Hawaii, why didn't they say they had cameras? I had no idea that they had cameras, you know, like in their, to take care of their dogs and to outside. So they say that they knew that my niece and her partner didn't go back to the house to take care of the dogs till like 19 hours later. And that's terrible. If that's the case, I mean, if you make a mistake like that, own up to it.
Right.
You know, I don't know. I have no idea. Right. So anyways, so I'm not judging, because I love to party.
Yeah. So was Moldavite involved in any of this?
She had Moldavite. Yeah. She had Moldavite. She started wearing a point with Moldavite and Lumerian, a Lumerian point. It was all put together. And our he's a really good friend of ours. He's a Reiki master and is very psychic and stuff. Sometimes he hears voices, and, you know, like he's so interesting, this man. Anyway, he bought it for her. So it was, it's Lumerian point, the Moldavite, and there was one other stone, and it was made by an artisan, put together like a big pendant. And she felt really good with it, so she was always wearing it. And then so that was in January. That was the Gem and Mineral Show that year, whatever it is, 17, I think. It was in 2017. Then I was dying to get a Moldavite. I just had to get it. It was, I don't know why. So I found it. I bought this Moldavite piece. I bought it at the jogs in September. So then, and then I kept on seeing 555. Thanksgiving night, on the clock in the car, 555, and constant 555. And I looked it up, and I was like a little bit on the fearful side, because it's all a matter of choice. Either embrace change.
Doesn't it say sudden change, right? Sudden.
Yeah, like that. So I'm like, okay. So then I kept on, and oh my God. So I didn't know. And then, that next May, I've been carrying that. She was using hers. This happened. And it was like night and day. I mean, to the moment we were like this close, nothing, I go to Tucson. I always love to take people, but I like to, you know, I go wherever I want to go. You guys want to go with me? Okay, you know, I love to share, but I'll go anyway. I'm very independent. I went all the way I went to San Francisco driving by myself. I don't know. Anyway, so it was like a night and day, and it was because I have meditated on it. I went through a process. I was heartbroken. I felt a little hurt with them because I tried talking to her. I tried calling her, but she never reached out for me to me after that. But there are some, you know, so I understand. I give her the benefit of the doubt, because she was in a relationship that was kind of difficult too. So, you know, like life is like a diamond, faceted, you know, like a crystal. You got all these things going on at the same time, you know, all different parts of your life. So I love her. I haven't spoken to her, and I still haven't been ready to allow her back in. And she feels the same way, really, because we haven't been. So whatever it is, I don't know.
Well, it's
but I
probably
know
like
that
you're on different vibrations now, and then I feel like the Moldavite kicks you up to the next level, like a fast elevator.
absolutely. Some people get headaches. Some people can't. Like I bought a Moldavite ring this last show, and I really like it. It kind of looks like a snake, sort of, and it's got a real small piece of Moldavite on one side, and another side it's silver, I think. I don't remember because I have it in my safe because it started hurting my finger. I couldn't. The energy was just so intense, and it was just too.
Wow.
I couldn't. Like, yeah, it was on my skin. I'll show it to you. But yeah. So you have to be really conscious. Moldavite is really intense. And I've embraced it. I have Moldavite water that I drink.
I know you
That
gave me some. I was so excited
because
to drink it.
oh, that's right, that's right, that's right, that's right. Yeah, and so I love crystals, and I'm learning, but
Is that what how you got
what?
into your what you do? Explain what you do. Now, what do you call it? You call it prescription jewelry.
Well, it's like prescriptive jewelry. It's actually my whole. I've come to an understanding. I don't speak to my family anymore because I don't. I needed. I realized that I needed to switch off everybody. Not. It's not them. It's me.
Mm-hmm.
I have embraced me,
Mm-hmm.
and they may not like it. So in order for me to be me, I had to just. I lost every purging everybody. God willing, and I keep on getting a message that eventually, whoops, lost you.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are. I will connect back with certain people. But so um, I've come to understand what my soul, at least what my soul's purpose is. And it's especially in this time where everybody's afraid, everybody's anxious, and they feel like victims. And I feel it, and it's like I've been there. My jewelry, this what happens is like I actually my favorite thing to do is to have a conversation, like a consultation, whatever, just and find out like, okay, so what are your goals, or what's going on in your life? What are you feeling? What is it that you want to accomplish? Because it could be an intention.
Mm-hmm.
And it also could be a goal. If I feel like I'm a bridge too, because some people don't believe in the energy of the crystals and gemstones and minerals. There's energy in everything. So
Right.
yes, there is energy. And if you believe in that, and you
Mm-hmm.
make, because it's not a magical thing. What it is, God created these as tools for different strokes for different folks,
Mm-hmm.
but for people to be reminded,
Mm-hmm.
and then to be reminded either that they are raising their vibration to the vibration of their goals, and the gemstones have that same vibration. And so the
Mm-hmm.
gemstones or crystals, they help you rise up to it. Or if you're more of a person that doesn't believe, it could be, okay, well, I intend to make sure that I'm going to feel safe, and I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to make the right decisions, or I feel like I'm going to become more of an entrepreneur. I believe that working hard, but having fun working,
Mm-hmm.
it's I'm gonna create the actions that I need to do in order to move forward in
Mm-hmm.
whatever goal. um, I'm gonna be more of a strong, and I'm gonna have more leadership skills. This is sunstone. You can't really tell, but this is another one I really love, because it helps you once you make a decision. It helps you with the strength,
Fortitude.
the what is it, fortitude to move forward in it and be strong.
Okay.
Uh, Manager,
Mm-hmm.
just being instead of being a follower,
Mm.
being
Yeah.
the
Your
person
own
to
captain.
be followed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And it's and the thing what I've come to understand, these are all just tools. It's all depends on what you feel, what you believe, and then what you're willing to do in order to reach your intention, your goal.
Okay.
First, it's God, guidance, and then from there.
So
That's
it can only help. And it can help for anything really, right? I mean, health, love, finances, you know, safety, protection.
Yeah, it all, oops, my chair is falling. The vibration itself, there's many, you know, crystals and gemstones, and a lot of them do the same things. A lot of them do many, you know, there's many aspects to it. Like there could be for health, and also for helping you with your heart, as far as being heartbroken, for your mental health, for all kinds of things. It just depends, you know, what it is that you want and what calls you.
You can
Oh yeah, and that's where I'm unique, in the sense that there's a lot of people, I mean, and they're beautiful pieces that people create, not, you know, mine. But what I do is I have started allowing, I'm a channel is what it came down to, what I've come to understand, because it really depends. There's sometimes that I get these messages that just kind of like, do this, you know, and they're like,
yeah, me too.
Where the heck did that, isn't that crazy?
It is, but you feel like
amazing.
I can't not do this. I can't not do this. I have to do this.
Yeah, and I've learned. I've learned.
You can ignore
like,
it though,
for me, the worst,
and it blows up in your face.
Well, that's it. For me, the worst thing is a regret.
Yeah.
And I've read, you know, like the worst thing that can happen when people are in their deathbeds, they always they feel bad for the things they didn't do. They don't regret the things they did do.
Right.
And so, but in my heart, I don't want people to feel bad. I don't want them to suffer. And the channeling part, I think what I did, I meditated on it, and what I believe it is, it's their spirit guides or their angels that come through me. And if it's something that's really intense, you got to do it, it just comes out of me. And then that's another thing, people think I'm crazy, because they're like, what do you think? You think you know everything? And it's,
well, they don't like to be told what to do.
Yeah. So I've also learned,
all you can do is offer.
Right. And that's why with the jewelry, I'm my channeling is like, somebody's open to it and wants to see it, wants to understand it's unique. It's not the regular, like you can buy at Amazon
pretty bracelet or whatever.
Yeah. It's not just pretty, and you can buy whatever. It depends what you want. You know, if you want something that is geared to you, or that calls you, and that is made by someone. And I'm doing some training on Reiki, because I do charge my jewelry, the crystals and stuff, with my loving and angel, the power, the energy. But I'm also gonna start a class with Reiki to infuse even more in the energy into the crystals and gemstones and stuff in the jewelry. So it's all about the person. It's not about me. It's not totally about the crystals. It's about the person, their goals, their intentions, their health, depending on, and it all depends on what their
challenges or what their focus is.
And if they want to open themselves up, if they want to accept, then, and it's amazing, because these, and then what I do too is I have, right now I have 2 different lines. One of them is infused. It's with aromatherapy, because I like to combine, like with me. Just an example too, like when about 5 years ago, remember we were talking about 5 years ago, I was getting over, well, I gained weight. I allowed the menopause thing to happen to me. I was working a lot of hours. My mom and dad both. Lost my parents within a year and a half of each other. It was really hard. It was really hard, and I had a really stressful job. And I was every day I was out of the house 12 hours. I
Mhm.
drive. It was a 3-hour drive,
You
and
don't
then I was
realize
at work.
how taxing it is on your body until you get out, and then you're like, how the hell did I do that for 20 years? How did I do
Yep.
that? And now it's like I go grocery shopping and I'm dying.
Yes.
Need a nap.
Yes. I know. I know. I don't. And then too, because another thing was that I also, my awakening, it's helped me understand. I used to numb myself with alcohol.
Yeah,
And
me
like,
too.
I,
Like law
I,
enforcement and alcohol go hand in hand.
and it was fun. I had
Oh
fun,
yeah.
I
Well,
had
because
fun,
it becomes like
but,
that's how you connect and
mhm.
socialize, and it's accepted and it's
And
promoted.
yeah. And you know what else was really interesting? I just understood this. It was a way for me to allow my true self, my words, because when I'd have a couple beers and I started talking, like
Yeah.
my things I
You were
believed
bold,
about
right?
crystals, and yeah, and about the law of attraction, and about, how we all have the power, that God has given us the power within ourselves, and we just have to,
Yeah.
and because otherwise I would like, oh, I know you think I'm crazy and I have a
Right.
lot of energy.
You hide.
And yeah, I'm like, oh, because then you could
Yeah.
feel like I dim myself down because,
Yes. Yeah, how I asked you if you had ever had that feeling, because I remember having it a lot at work, that you're huge and the people around you are tiny. And I remember when I felt it, I thought, what the hell is happening? I feel enormous and they feel really tiny. And I felt bad for feeling enormous. And I'm like, oh no, I don't want them to feel bad. So let me get down here with them. And that was so weird to
yep.
me because I didn't know what was going on.
And, and then you couldn't do it for very long. Yeah,
No,
it's crazy.
no,
It's
you
so
jump
crazy.
back up to your regular size. Yeah.
And then I find myself, I would feel embarrassed. Like, oh God, why did I say that? Oh God, why? So all the time. So, uh, and then I have because I don't know, I've always had a hard time sleeping. So it was like a whole bunch of stuff that was happening. And then with my parents passing away and the reality of life, the cancer, I'd gotten over that. But then this happened. And then, so I gained 40 pounds. So then one of my friends was the one that was recommending, just go to the gym and just, go have fun, go do something, just start. Cause I had just retired.
Mm,
I retired 2 days after my dad passed away.
wow.
That was my last day. I had the party after. It was interesting. Um, so anyways, so 6 months after I retired, I started going to the gym, and I was feeling really yucky and
Mhm.
heavy and 140 pounds when I had always been the max 120, which is was a good weight for me or whatever. And
But with our height, I feel like any weight is like a lot for us because we're so little.
yes, yes. And then when all that was happening, I started like having problems with my ankles. Like I was always dressed up because I worked in an office setting, and my perfect partner, my Jesus would tell me, he says, you have to dress for success. You have to your position is important, so you always have to dress for the job. So I
Mhm.
always wore suits. It was always, I always took care, but I'd wear heels and stuff. And I started, and it was in Tucson. And so sometimes we'd go walking to have lunch or whatever. And I fell. I didn't break anything, but I would fall. I had problems with my knees. I had problems with my ankles, but it was the weight.
Wow.
So then, little by little, then I started exercising little by little. And then I started changing the way I ate, because I used to be low carb, and then I just gave that up, and that didn't help because then I gained a bunch of weight.
Mm.
So then I started watching what I ate, and then I did a diet which was, you eat 5 meals a day, you're never hungry, but you eat certain foods and you really get, you don't use the carbs. But what started helping me too is appetite. I don't have it right. I started using appetite So to help me with weight, with maintenance, with setting your goals. So I had a big bracelet, like a big chunky one that I had. They're big stones, and I would wear that to the gym, and I would remember. And it all of that combined, I believe, really helped.
And you can put
And
it in
then
water, right? You can put it in a glass and drink
in a
your
glass and
water
drink it.
with
Yeah,
the
because
appetite inside the glass.
yes, and it just it helps you. It helps you maintain to keep your mindset. You know, we all have choices. So you want
So focus on my
yes,
goal. Mm.
yes, and I want to take care of myself. I want to lose weight, or I want, you know, I have a goal of whatever amount of pounds I want to weigh, and it also helps you. And it's like either one. I mean, the energy of the stone, if you acknowledge and you believe, it raises your vibration to that mindset. If you don't believe, you can also just look at it as a reminder every single time that you look at it and you're about to eat something you shouldn't, some kind of processed food, some kind of chips, some kind of whatever, and you say, oh no, I don't want that because I want to lose some weight. And then the affirmations, the other thing that we're talking about, looking at yourself, which is really interesting. I would, because I used to be able to wear bikinis. I had worn a bikini from the time like 15, 16, 17 years until 39. And then with the cancer and stuff, you know, things just changed and my whole life changed. And the bathing suits, I just hated the way I looked. The first 10 years of recuperation of breast cancer, I couldn't even see myself naked. I didn't even see myself. I wouldn't see. Anyway, so it was a process. So then that year, in 2015, 2016 is when I started, and I started really working out. And so I lost 20 pounds. I went down to 120. And it was because of the
That's so
appetite
exciting.
and my goal setting and me. Yeah, it helps.
So
and
your
I
team,
envisioned
it was
myself.
part of your team.
My team, yes. And I started envisioning myself. It helped me to see myself, my perfect weight. And when I went to 120, I mean, I looked okay. I looked good. I looked all right. But there were things I didn't like. Like I didn't like the little roll still here. I had never had a roll because I drank beer. I felt like, ooh, I don't want a beer gut. You know, I don't want to, I just want, I'm choosing to make different decisions so that I can lose weight. But then I hit that maximum. And then what I did, because I at that point, Tiger Eye called me instead of, I didn't wear the appetite. I had it there with me, you know, there, but I didn't actually wear the bracelet anymore. I wore a Tiger Eye minimal aromatherapy necklace, which is a real small, and I don't have it right here, but it's just it's one Tiger Eye. Actually, no, it's lava, a flat lava, lightweight lava, and 2 Tiger Eye on each side. And it's a cord. It's a real.
And why do you call it aromatherapy?
Because you can infuse it. It's natural. It's a lava stone, the combination. So you can infuse it with whatever essential oils that you want to use, whatever calls you. Me and peppermint, we're like that. Spearmint, I really like. I combine rose sometimes too, if I feel like my heart needs a little soothing. Also lavender to go to sleep, but I use peppermint for everything. And it just like, I mean, like as if I need energy, but it gives me even more. It wakes me up because I'm not a morning person, you know, so it helps me to, and I shouldn't say that because the more you say it, the more it's true.
You're making it.
Yeah. So, so that's why, so what I would do is I would use my Tiger Eye, and then I started going, it's called Zumba Strong. It's not just the regular Zumba, but it's Zumba. Oh, and I started with silver sneakers, the old people working out. It was weird. I mean, you have all these old people
along there.
yeah. There's like, and then you do a lot of extra, and it's hard work. It's a good workout, but a lot of people can't walk or can't, you know, really run around or whatever. So they sit in the chair. So I remember picking up weights in the chair and doing that. Then the next thing you know, like within a year, I'm standing up. Yeah, I'm standing up, and other people are sitting in the chairs and doing their exercise, and I'm going like this and this. And I graduated from silver sneakers. So then I went to Zumba Strong, and Zumba Strong is a combination of it's sort of high intensity. It's it's movement, but it's not like Zumba, like, because I've got 4 left feet, you know, like white men can't jump or white men can't whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm a left-handed can't, you know. So I did that for about, I guess about a year and a half, and wearing my tiger, it was like,
Now, what does the tiger's eye? What is that for? What does it do for you?
It's power. It helps you with studying. It helps you with anxiety. It's got a lot of really cool things. This is the golden tiger eye. It's the because there's different colors, there's different types, but this one is like, wow, you know, you can do it. Set your mind to it, and you can do it. And that's what it would tell me, what it would call. It would remind me. And then I had a bracelet too. Was really small. I still have it and I use, but it was like, gotta do it. Not got to. I'm choosing it. So there I am doing push-ups. And I evolved into, it's really, really cool. So then I went from the Zumba strong to high intensity training at another gym where it's like hardcore. We do burpees, we do push-ups, we do squat. I mean, let me tell you, it was, and because of everything, since the gym's closed down, we quit. Plus, I also manifested another breast revision surgery, and so now I'm really balanced. Yeah, so it's the crystals, the different ones that have helped me because I accepted their help, and my team has worked together, and I found it. You know? So I'm an example. So now with everything, and now and then we talked about intermittent fasting. It's another thing that's really awesome. My body changed. I know some people may think I'm too skinny, but I have hardly any fat on my body anymore. Oh. I have no roll on my waist.
Yay!
And I feel wonderful. I feel wonderful.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing your testimony, because I think a lot of women especially have resigned themselves of like, oh, I'm a mother now. Oh, I'm 40. I'm whatever. I guess it's all over. I have to look like crap now. No, you don't. Don't accept that.
Exactly. And that's the thing, is like, I've been through all of that, and it's so amazing. And that's why I like, if anybody's open to it, I certainly can help, you know, help them. They have to do the work. Right. We all have to do our own work. We all have to do our own inspired action, but we can do it, because I totally believe right now I wear a size, I could wear a size 1 even clothes. Back 5 years ago, I went up to almost a size 11. I got depressed because. So
that's the difference between, but you took inspired action, and you knew you accepted the tools, and you worked with the tools. Can you show us some of your pieces?
Oh yeah. And the thing is too, is like, I believed in the menopause thing, and like, the motherly, just, these are the 2 lines. Actually, I guess it would be there's a third line. That's a unique, this one right here is a chakra bracelet, but I use different stones, but they all are also pertaining.
So those are the styles, and then depending on what the person is working on, then that would indicate what stone you would put in that style.
Right. Yeah, okay. I have quite a variety of different stones. Like this one I'm going to put on the website. This one is the Traveler's Protection. This one I was inspired to create because the original one was because I have a cousin who's very psychic, that he hadn't understood what was going on, and he's a dreamer. He's a traveler in his dreams.
Oh, he goes to the
and lots of different aspects. All kinds of stories. It's really, really cool. He's really cool, but he needs protection when he goes through that, because you know, you never know. And it also protects you through every day. This is let's see, this is the black tourmaline, and then these 2 are tourmalated quartz, which is, tourmaline is a real protective, really strong. It also protects from EMF. there's shungite that protects from EMF as well. But the one we were talking about that you can check with the ohmmeter, but this one also does. And then the clear quartz magnifies. They call it the clear quartz. Call it the magnifier, so it magnifies the energy. I think in the book it
lift
says
it up
9 times.
Like higher up, I mean. Yeah, there.
So, and then the lava is there too. The black, all of these black, it's all lava, so you can infuse it with whatever.
All the scents.
And they're lightweight for the most part. This one is a little too big for going to exercise, although you can make it like a choker, and some people may find it comfortable to wear. And then the hematite for grounding, that one is really, really good. What I've learned too, let me see, I don't know if in here they have, if there is one, can't find it. No, it's not. This is amethyst with pyrite and lava. And what I discovered too, like pyrite, they say that the shaman says in Mexico that the pyrite protects you from envy.
Really?
And, but what I've discovered too is that the pyrite, because it's for abundance, it's for feeling, like bringing in the financial abundance and just abundance in general. But also it helps you manage your anxiety, your fear.
Wow.
It's a reminder that you can be afraid, but you can
supersede it.
And you can bypass it. You can use that fear to accomplish the goals. You can get past it.
And how interesting that's so interesting that it's a stone for abundance. And a lot of people are afraid of abundance, even though we ask for it.
I hadn't really thought about that. That's true. Yeah. And so it is a really good combination. And these, like I have lapis lazuli. I mean, I've got all kinds of different stones that we can use. Yeah, combinations. And this particular, I have some. I may be able to get some more on the supply from my supplier, but I do have some to make. I do, like while supplies last, but I do have some. This is another one. These I call the minimalist ones.
I love those. Those are my favorite.
Thank you. Yeah, this one I use that a lot at the gym. And what I'm doing is I'm using sterling silver and silver more than anything, because at least that you can clean. Because the silver filled and gold filled, they're expensive anyways, and then they end up getting tarnished, losing the color, and I'm not spending the money on it. But so these are silver, and it all depends, like what you feel. Like I have, this is a chain. I have a clasp, and then I put like a little charm on the end for people. This bracelet I really like. Like I wear them too. This one is for us young women, where pearls, from what I've understood, is it's appreciating and knowing that we have beauty at any age, and just being proud of the age we're at and making the best of it and feeling good. Like what we're talking about as far as
so owning your beauty at whatever stage you're at, because you're all the time. In just in different ways.
Yes. And then the labradorite also is a very to me it calls me because of the creativity, but it helps you in metaphysical ways to be able to find yourself for prayer, for meditation, that kind of thing. It's a beautiful stone, and it's actually, from what I understand, labradorite is a kind of moonstone. So they call it labradorescence. It's kind of hard to see through here, but it's got like a moonstone.
All iridescent, like rainbowy.
Yes, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. And so this bracelet I combined. This one is for embracing our beauty at any age. So I've got pearls in it, and then the labradorite, and then amethyst in it, and some moonstone, I think, too. Yeah.
And how beautiful to celebrate yourself, like Mother's Day, a birthday, to celebrate yourself, self-love to the max.
Yeah, and then just to remember, to remember that who we truly are. And
Yeah.
then I combine it, I've combined, these are both, it's pyrite and hematite together. For me, because I'm a Gemini and woo, woo, I use hematite for grounding.
Oh, okay.
And so, and then the pyrite, well, the fear, because we all have fears.
Oh,
So
so
I combine it.
so what if, okay, so you explained if somebody wants one for them, but what if somebody wants to buy one as a gift? How would that work with the consultation?
Well, Well, I have actually some design, so it kind of depends if the person can say, could at least talk. If they don't want, if they want it to be like a surprise, they can
Mhm,
talk to the person they want to gift
mhm.
to, and then just because it all just depends. It may not, doesn't necessarily have to be them saying what stones, but if I am told what they would like and
Okay,
the
so
the type of
like when you
design they
asked me
want.
for my kids, like what would I want
Hmm.
for them? Because I think there's no accidents, there's no coincidences. So I feel like it's the stone calling the person through whatever means necessary, and I'm just the vessel that's
Yeah,
right.
exactly. Yeah. So like for instance, if someone is feeling sad or has some
Mm,
hurt or something, um, the the lava, no, what is it called? Apache tears
mm,
would be something that that the
healing.
person would use. Um, the Apache tears, though, those I have not been able to find any stones, any beads for that.
Mm.
So it would be rose quartz in a bracelet combined with maybe some rainbow obsidian, some kind, or and clear quartz to magnify the energy. It just, but the rose quartz too is for healing in that sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So so it just depends. It just
Yeah, well, I mean, in having friends and partners and whatever, you know the person, you know what they're going through, you know what they want to accomplish. If they're struggling financially, obviously it's going to be pyrite, or
and citrine.
or if they're wanting new love or whatever. I mean, we all know
Mhm.
each other's stories, so you can
Want
base it
some
off of
strength,
that.
want some, yeah. The other thing that I've really gotten into, it's fantastic, and this is what we were talking about, the shungite. Shungite is another one of the because it's a mineral, actually. It's got a lot of, it varies, but it's got carbon in it, and it protects people. And right now it's really important because the EMS, because of um, the phones, the Wi-Fi, the computers, everything, the Bluetooth. Shungite is a really good protective stone. It's got it's a very healing stone. That one was also, how interesting, huh? It's also found in Russia.
Mm.
That shungite is in Karelia, and it's like another black stone. As a matter of fact, I think. Let me see
Yeah,
if
and
we
you
can.
gave me some to put in my water.
Yeah.
I have
So
it
this one,
in water.
this one is shungite. Anyway, yeah. So you can, anybody,
So
if
you
you
can wear
guys.
it, you can have it in your pocket, you could put it in your water and just drink
Mhm.
from that.
And what shungite does, and it's actually scientifically proven, is the molecules. It's called fulgurenes. Anyways, the molecule itself looks like a soccer ball.
Mm.
And what it does, it's got, depending, there's at least, there's actually, I think there's 4 different types of shungite, but the 3 that I can remember is shungite elite, which has got 90 or higher percent carbon. The other one is like 80 to 60, I think. Anyways, this is the middle one. And then just the shungite type 1. So all of them are good, but they have, the elite has the highest amount of carbon, but they all work. What it does is, it, that molecule you know how everything's got energy, and negative things and toxic things go the opposite of what it the molecule moves in the opposite
Mhm.
vibration of what a positive one does, from what I understand. So what shungite does is that it transforms. You put a piece of shungite somewhere by the Wi-Fi, by whatever. It's not like a carbon filter, water filter that you have to
Mhm.
throw out eventually
Mhm.
because it just collects all the
Mhm.
negative, all the dirty stuff. This transforms it. So
Wow.
what it does, it changes the energy. So you never have to get rid of it. Some experts say you do need to cleanse it in water. Others say not. I don't I don't know. I don't think so. I think that because of
It's
the
power.
molecules, it's power, and it's just a constant positive movement, that it doesn't take on any negativity. But it just kind of depends. I found a book with a bunch of research on it. I'm gonna finish reading, and then I'll know more about the cleansing. But
Yeah.
I just I love it. I
So
love it.
people drink your shungite water. Just put some pieces in a glass and there's your water.
Mhm.
And then your whole body
And
becomes transformed because you're being healed constantly, transformed.
exactly.
Would you say then that shungite is just a more mild like transformation agent to moldavite, or are they totally different? Because I know moldavite is for healing too.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I guess so. It's more of a gentler one.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, it just all depends on what the person, like first of all, what calls you.
Mhm.
And if you do, people can do some research and find out too, or have, a piece of moldavite and see what happens, and then get
See what
shungite.
happens.
Uh-huh. Yeah, because it just all depends.
Take the
Because
moldavite
there's
challenge.
yeah, because a lot of different stones work in the same way, and it's just a matter of what calls you,
Mm.
you know and
Yeah,
there's
because
a
it'll
lot.
invite you.
Hmm. Yeah, and what I also have discovered, and I don't have a whole bunch of pieces, but I started collecting just in the raw pieces, the last couple of years of stone of crystals and minerals and stuff to put around the house. I bought this huge, and I should have brought it so I could show next time when we talk if we want. It's a big piece of rose quartz. And what I've discovered, that one of my spirit animals is a a jaguar.
Wow.
Any cat. I mean, ever since I was a little kid, I love cats, and I have a bunch of cat little figurines and stuff throughout the house. But so I bought it, and then I didn't discover it's got the face of a cat.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, and then I bought bobatite, anyway, sparkling biotite, I think it's called. It also has, for me, it's got the look of a cat as well. But all of this, it has really changed I mean,
Yeah,
we've
the
always had,
vibration there is so high. So
yeah,
high.
they,
Yeah, it feels
and
good. You can tell. Just like you can tell when something is negative, you're like, oh, and like when it's positive, you just want to stay. So it's very inviting.
yeah, so it's really cool. It's all I don't know. It's just been
I love
it's
it. Do you
amazing
have
journey.
any advice for anyone that might be struggling right now, especially with what's everything that's going on? Would you have any advice for any light workers, empaths, whatever you want to call it?
Well, what I've done is I have a really close connection with the angels, but especially I call him Archangel Michael. All the other angels too, but him especially for
Me too.
protection.
I think it's because of the job. Like that's our
Yes,
just who
I
we work
believe,
with.
right. And so first and foremost, to, like, step back and analyze the feelings. If you're feeling a lot of pain and your depression, and you don't know, you think it's you might be an empath. So you
Mhm.
might need to ask the angels, and ask. What I do is, Archangel Michael, shields up, help me help that person, but protect me.
Mm.
Because I literally, I used to, almost with the pain that I would feel, I would want to just throw myself. on the floor and cry. And it seems like a, like, oh, a victim, but it
Oh, but
wasn't.
it's overwhelming. You're being
Yeah.
bombarded. Mhm.
Yes, and it wasn't me. My life was beautiful. It wasn't like I was going through thinking that, feel sorry for me.
Yeah.
I was feeling something and I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that protecting yourself, but then also like if you are going through a period when you feel like everything is awful, stop. Even give yourself a chance, stop and think of at least one blessing that you have in your life. And what Abraham Hicks, pivot, stop and think. It doesn't matter. Even if like, okay, like you're feeling really bad because, you don't have a job. Okay. But like you said, we're blessed. We're born in, we're here in the best country in the world. You have, the government is helping out. You still have to get yourself motivated and go do something. But at least right now you're not starving. You're not sleeping unless, there are people that are like that, and I don't know.
But in every situation, you can find something. And remember, it's not permanent. Nothing is permanent, not even the good stuff.
Right. This too shall pass. Exactly. And so if you click, if you pivot it, you're going to see, you're going to know, it's going to start changing. Your life is going to start changing for the better. And then forgive yourself. If you make a mistake, okay, for every mistake, every choice, there's a consequence. However, you still you learn from it and make a different choice next time. Have just and don't buy into all the fear. Don't, because, and that's another negative word. I mean, like switch it to, okay, but thank you, God, because I'm healthy right now. Okay, thank you, God. Like for instance, with me with the cancer. Okay, thank you, God. Yes, I got this. They say I'm diagnosed with a cancer, but thank you, God, because I have, the ability to pay for a medical treatment. Or thank God I have this friend that can take me to the doctors. Thank God, whatever. Thank God right now I'm doing okay.
I have food, I have water, I have shelter.
So, and then also though, when you're going through something, another message, some more guidance that I gotten, because you have to be kind to yourself when you're going through, like, let's say something really horrible happens, you get raped, or, I mean, something, somebody tries to kill you, or you're whatever horrible situation. Give yourself some kindness because you're feeling really bad, or you can be angry or feeling really fearful. Allow yourself a certain amount of time. That's in another book that I read. Allow yourself a certain amount, or if you've lost somebody that you dearly love, something awful.
Feel the feeling.
Yeah, feel it. And then, but realize that, okay, it happened and there's a reason for it, and give yourself a certain amount of time. Like just another example, when I was going through and I was all dark and everything was black. I read in a book, what you do, it's like, okay, feel sorry for yourself, feel angry, feel all that pain, but don't feel it for days and days and days, and depression and not wanting to
drown in it.
just, yeah. Give yourself 8 hours, 6 hours, whatever. And then little by little, then click, make the decision. Okay, that's done. Okay, what do I do? If you have to just forget about it, like put it somewhere else and do something. Just go for a walk.
Move your body.
Yeah, move, drink some water, do something. And then slowly cut down the time. And that was such a miracle because I was in such a deep depression too. And then I started using that method, and I started like making the time smaller and smaller, shorter and shorter. The next thing you know, I have not been depressed, or I don't know. It's been 15, 20 years.
So then you just make a choice. You make a conscious choice. Okay, I'll worry about it tomorrow, like in Gone with the Wind. That's my favorite quote.
Yeah. Scarlett.
I'll worry about it tomorrow.
Scarlett O'Hara, you and me. That's another one.
Yeah.
Me too.
You put it on. It's not, and then like that feeling isn't haunting you because you're telling it, I'm gonna look at you, but tomorrow. You're important. I'm gonna give you the floor to speak, but tomorrow, because today I'm just gonna have fun, just today, or just right now, or I'm
Yeah,
gonna take a
just
nap
right
or
now,
whatever. But yeah,
yeah, and it's really cool because then too, the forgiving yourself, giving yourself the chance to be human
yeah,
and not be perfect,
yeah,
but then also making the choice. Okay, I
yeah,
did it and it's okay because I'm
yeah.
human.
So
But
then
then
you're
move
your
on.
own best friend.
It's really cool because it helps.
Yeah,
But right now it's just so important because there's so much fear.
yeah.
There's so much fear.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. And we hope to have you back because you have a lot of good stuff to share.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you
You
so
too.
much. I appreciate you.
Oh, I appreciate too. I'm like I manifested you too.
I know. I
I,
manifested you too. We were just
I'm
saying
like,
that to each other because
yeah,
she's my spiritual friend in real life. I mean, I have a lot of
yeah, yeah,
friends, but I've never met them in person. And I met you and you met me and you're real because I touched you. And how
yeah, yeah.
exciting. And I was told that I would start meeting my tribe in person, flesh to flesh in 2020. And I thought, oh, I guess it was bullshit. And here you go. I met you.
It-
It's true.
Isn't it funny because I started like, okay, Father, thank you, Father. I started doing my prayer and my like instead of because I know God, I know Father knows everything. So now I started thanking Father for my friends, thanking Father for my
Me too. I do
for
that too.
important for my tribe, for someone that I could connect with, that could just besides
Who
my
gets me?
wonderful partner. Uh-huh. And it was just
We're like
amazing because
twins. I know.
yes,
The jobs,
yeah,
just everything, the mindset, all of that. And I love it.
yeah, me
So
too. I'm so
exciting.
happy.
So see, you guys can manifest your perfect partner. I'm
Yes,
working on that. I'm doing that. And manifest friends and in real life, flesh friends.
and true friends, friends that yeah
Right.
get
Somebody
you.
that vibrates at your level,
Mhm.
pure. Because I feel like we're balanced and we both look out for each other and we both celebrate each other. There's no competition, there's no envy, there's just I want the best for you and
Right,
you want the
right,
best for me. And it's there's nothing like it. And how amazing to have that in a relationship also. And
right.
we can have whatever we want.
Mhm. We
And
just
you're
need
proof.
to yeah, and we just need to accept it. That's a thing too, is accepting
Let
it.
it in.
Just
Let it in.
yes,
Say yes.
yes. And then being the detached, like detached from it, like
Yeah,
want
like I'm okay
think about
without it, but I would like
uh-huh.
it. And then when it
Yeah.
shows up,
And
don't run
if
away. But
right.
for
And the
me,
other thing that real quick, because I know we got to go, but okay, think about the best that you want, everything that you want, all details. But then you say, if not this, something better. Because a
yeah.
lot of times our little minds, God,
No, and we limit ourselves, right? We're like, oh,
the
well,
limits.
he has to be like this, and he has to have this job, and he has to. You don't even know if that would be your best match. It could be something totally opposite, and
That's true.
that's like, oh my God, where have you been all my life? And it has nothing to do with what you asked for, but it's your
It's
perfect
true.
match because your
Yep.
team God knows more than you know. You think you know, but you're so limited because you only refer to what you've known or what you've seen on TV or in movies and that's all bullshit because it's
Mhm.
all
Yeah,
superficial.
and then how we've been, yeah, how we've grown up with our parents, the limitations, we
Yeah.
have them as well. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
it's really, I envision this diamond. Our lives are each little diamonds or Herkimer diamonds with double termination, the 2 points,
Mm-hmm.
and so all these things, everything's working together.
Yeah.
And it's us like also putting the limitations. So once okay, thank you, Father, that this is what, but then it creates even something better. So
Yes, and then being super
yeah,
grateful when you have it, take care of it, and like be grateful because I think uh, uh, in the past, I've taken a lot for granted. People, relationships, because you think, oh, it's forever. Yeah, right. Have an awakening, all that shit goes away. and then you're all alone.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like
I know.
such a blessing because now I have such gratitude for kindness, for true, genuine people that say what they mean and mean what they say, and they follow through, and they're there, and they show up, and they love you no matter what. Even though you think you look like shit, they're like, oh my God, you're gorgeous. I mean, stuff like that.
Yes.
People that lift you up.
Yes.
People that they go out of their way for you, and you're like, what's that? What? I've never known that, you know, because they're like you, because you would do that. And oh, that's so magical.
Exactly.
I want you to all have that. That's possible.
Yeah. No, my gosh. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you'll have to
There's
come back.
There's a quick video.
You're going to have to come back.
Yes. Yes.
We could talk.
There's one quick video.
Mm-hmm.
I know. That's true. Then maybe I'll just send it to you so you can put it on but for affirmations like that. Anyway,
Okay.
yes. Thank you. Oh, I'm so happy.